Check it out. This is kind of how it ended up. I guess I won't have a nice hard lid to work off of. I don't know, maybe some shin guards. Yeah? Anyway, the tank turned out pretty good, if I don't say so myself. Nicely coated. Now we turn our attention to cleaning the carburetors. First, we'll take this off. So this part here is the slide, and when you give it gas, it pulls this slide up. I'll try to show you. There's your needle jet. See how it does that? So that's basically lifting it up and down in here, giving it more fuel and more air. I'm going to have you do most of this, but just take the air filter off. I don't know if that's a real K&N, but you wash these and then you oil them up. And the oil is what makes it red. It should be like a white filter. Okay, so you got your bowl. This is what holds the fuel, right? Fuel comes in here, sits in here. There's a float that you'll see, and it adjusts the level of fuel so you're not flooding. If the fuel kept coming in because of gravity, it would just push right out this tube and just leak. And so that float will shut a valve off and then open up when it needs more. So with this screwdriver, this is a Japanese screwdriver because they work better on these Japanese Phillips heads compared to ours. You see how this is way more narrow on top, the tip? Yeah, it doesn't grab as good. So right here, unscrew that, and there's 4 of them. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Better rag in these channel locks. Dun, 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 dun. So these are your floats. Okay. Raise and lower. And right here is your the valve that opens and closes. These floats push this up and down, closing that fuel reservoir off. or fuel path, I should say. Okay, take this. I don't know why I got this raspy voice right now. Take that off. Okay, now it should be loose. Use your hand. And now there's one in there, little flathead. So stick that in there. Carefully take that one out. Most jets are in a specific spot, but a lot of these internal ones, they're tightened fully. So you don't really need to take note as to how or what position they're in. There it is. See those little holes? When it sits over time, I don't know. When it sits over time, those little holes get clogged. Here, this is what they do, right? Put your hand up here. Hey, focus on that little guy. So then you're not getting the fuel you need to get when you need to get it. And this one, look through that. Do you see the little teeny orifice in there? Yeah, it looks kind of clogged too. But we'll clean that out. Okay. What else do we need? So this guy comes out. This will come out. Remember how this goes, right? And now this valve should come out. There it is. Okay, that's all the internal stuff. Here's the stuff you need to remember where it's at. So this is your idle screw. So the best way to remember where your idle was to screw it in and count every half turn. All right, every 180 degrees is what I do until it stops. And then you know that when you put it back in, you go all the way in and you go out that number of turns. And now you should be right where you were. So why don't you do that? And you can hold this too. I'm not your biatch.
Every half turn?
Every half turn, yeah. Are you tightening?
Should I be tightening or loosening?
You should be tightening. Don't get super tight just when you notice that it hits the bottom. Is it tight?
Yep.
All right.
So.
How many half turns was it?
7.
7? All right, now take it out. And keep it over here. So if anything falls out of there, you can catch it. So the way this works, you got your air side, sucks in air, and through volume of air you get the speed and you generate a vacuum. And that vacuum will pull fuel that's sitting in the bowl through these little venturis and jets. And as you give it more throttle, you're pulling that slide up, you're opening more holes, you're getting more air, more fuel, and that's more atomized fuel to burn. And that's basically how it works. And this choke shuts off the air flow because when things are cold, air is more dense, there's more oxygen, and so you need less air. So it chokes off the air till you fire it up, and then once it starts getting warm, you can open it up. Now, we're going to soak these bad boys. Always open these cans away from you in case they build pressure. Okay. You don't want to let go. Sometimes I'll dunk the whole carb, but in this case, we're going to do some spray on the carb, and we're just going to dunk the jets and the metal pieces here. So this has a gasket. I'm going to be real careful getting this off, and we don't want to dunk the gasket. And I don't have another one, so there's that. And this should clear out all these orifices of old fuel, and this really doesn't get too dirty, but I'm dunking it anyway. Now this jet would normally have a black rubber tip, and it appears to be missing. So that might be something I'll have to address down the road, but it's not going to prevent it from running, but it may prevent it from shutting off fully. This is a part solvent that will just kind of eat away at all the junk. And then for this, we're just going to spray it down. This is carbon choke throttle body cleaner. I'll be able to show some of the, let's see, for instance, this is a jet right here. See where it's squirting out? So that hole. Oh, that's the fuel intake. It's coming out the fuel line. This hole and this hole are your overflows. They're going to come out of these tubes here. Let's make sure they're clean. See that? Where are you going? Afraid to get squirt? Maybe that was bad. Alright, well, now that we made a nice wet mess, we just got hit in the lip, and it evaporates. You know, the other carb had a weird plate, and this one doesn't have it unless this plate looks like it was screwed down, maybe? I don't remember taking that off. It was like a splash guard. That's weird. I should have taken them apart at the same time, but all right, well, this is clean. Those are soaking. And now we wait. I'm gonna fire up the air compressor so I can blow out some of the jets, all the old crap. Alright, where you at? Where you at? So I'm gonna spray them down with this. This stuff tends to like evaporate better than the parts cleaner, because the parts cleaner is constantly getting dirt and crap left in it. So sometimes they can become sticky. I've had my my float jet stick once after a carb cleaning, and of course I was on the bike in the hills, everyone waiting on me. Had to hit it with a hammer a little bit and just kind of knock it loose. So we're going to do this, and we might hit it with an air hose. All right, let's assemble. So we're gonna glue this on. Okay, really hard to see, but you see that cutout on this? Well, if you look down in there, you see that little knob?
Yes.
Yeah, they need to line up. Okay. I don't know, let's see if we can get it here. There's a little knob in there. And it has to match up with that cutout. I'm trying to get it focused. Okay, I'm using 2 fingers to move that thing. You see that? Slide it in, there we go. And this jet will screw right in. Like so. Oh wait, there's another piece. There's this one, right? This is the main jet. This is the fuel you get on full throttle. So depending on elevation, you put different sized ones in. Alright, that's all for here. Let's put the bowl on.
Another gasket.
Yes, good job. I would have saw it and then been like, God damn it. Why didn't you say anything? All right, you remember your numbers? This one. This is your idle screw. So this has to go all the way in, and then a half turn. Your count's out. Let's get our slide out. So our idle screw, the one you screwed in there, you see the little tip in there?
Yep.
That notch goes right in here. And that little angle, as you screw it in, it lifts it up, or if you screw it out, it drops it down. And that's how your idle's adjusted. Sometimes you gotta go backwards to find the threads. There you go. Alright, done.